Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. This is Andrew, your commentator, announcer, and monster battler. How are you all doing tonight, folks? It is a pleasure to be back here with this interesting battle of Yugoloths versus Celestials. And yes, we do have a bit of a returning faction here. Our Celestials are coming back to protect a sacred site. Apparently they missed one a while back, and now we are looking at seeing if they will indeed be able to protect this sacred site from the forces of the underworld. As we saw a few weeks back, the forces of the underworld destroyed another sacred site where a few of the monastery's protectors tried to defend the area, but were unfortunately, unable to protect the area and were just dismissed from the area. So tonight we will see if the same goes for these fiends, or if the Celestials will be able to protect themselves and protect this sacred site. Who knows? Maybe something even more catastrophic is in the works for this area. And hello to everyone that is here on the live stream. Hair Doctor, Truck95, Lucan, Ian Revick, and Name Will Be Taken. Question, since I know Yugoloths aren't demons or devils, but are fiends, what are they? As far as I'm aware, they are just basically fiends. They are a subcategory Yugoloth of fiends, so they are their own type, Yugoloths. So you have the demons, you have the fiends, you have demons, devils, and Yugoloths. There you go. Since they're all categorized as fiends. So, let us go ahead and meet our competitors. Well, we already know our celestial protectors from the heavens. We have the Planetar Canoloths. We also have the Deva Remiel. And a new one joining us is the Firemane Angel Tabris. She is from Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, and she is joining us for this battle of the Underworld versus the Overworld, Celestial Heavenly World. And these are those people there. And then on our Fiend sides for the Yugoloths, we have an Ultraloth by the name of Rorgamen. Then we have a Nycaloth, there we go, a Nycaloth by the name of Garach, and we have two Canoloths by the names of Zeg and Thud. So there we go. Now we have our competitors here for both sides, and we have a bit of the backstory that is underway here. Let's go ahead and get into battle. Now, I've already stopped the poll for the battle map interference, and it looks like 37% of you voted for the elemental residence. So we will see how that one plays out here in the coming moments. And if you are part of the Discord, you could have seen what that was like, helping me plan for this encounter and event. So if you like what we're doing here and you want to help influence the games, then come join the Discord, leave a comment on this video, and I will get you a link as soon as possible. Me or someone else can. And yeah, with that, we will go ahead. Now we are currently voting on rolling for the third-party percentile. It looks like so far we're looking for lower and up from 1% and higher. And remember, folks, every like on the channel will influence a third party coming on. And, since we are so close to the ocean here, I have a feeling I know who might show up. But you all can take a guess at who might be showing up there as well. Anyways, let's get into round one of combat as we begin this Monster vs. Monster for this Monday afternoon. It's afternoon for me, night for some of you, morning elsewhere, or wherever it is and what day. So, we're going to go ahead and roll for initiative. And it looks like with all the D20s coming in, we have Remiel, our Deva, going first, followed by Rorgamen, our Ultraloth, Canoloths, the Planetar, Tabris, the Firemane Angel, then our battle map will be going, then Thud, Garach, and Zeg pulling up the rear. Alright, so let's see here. Ian says, I love Yugoloths, but they are probably going to get crushed. And Name Will Be Taken is suggesting that maybe Fluffy will show up. Maybe indeed. We'll see what happens here as we get to the ends of rounds 1, 2, and 3 here. We'll see what happens. Alright, folks, let's go ahead and start combat. Start combat here with Remiel. Let's take a look at our combatant here and see what they can do. They have no legendary actions, they can speak a whole bunch of languages, and they are resistant to radiant damage as well as non-magical, non-magical attacks. There we go. And then they have a couple condition immunities as well. They have a small spellbook. They can commune, raise dead, and detect good and evil, which that's going to be pointless here. And they have a few features of, let's see here. Angelic weapons, magic resistance, chain shape, healing touch, multi-attack, and mace. So basically, we have a frontline warrior here. They're going to be able to do 2 mace attacks, and that is it for our CR10 Deva. So, let's take a look here. I shouldn't have dropped that down. They have a movement speed for flying of 90 feet, so they can just dash right over and get to that other side quick. But the question is, should they, considering that all of these creatures are already here? So what we'll probably end up seeing is that our Deva's going to take to the skies, and we'll say probably go up about 20 feet or so, and then that will be 20 feet there, and fly over another, we'll say roughly, 55 feet over to here. So they're 20 feet up in the sky at the moment, and we'll go there. That's, that'll be 75 total feet for their flying, and they'll go in a dodge action to protect themselves. All right, so that is Remiel's turn as we move on to Rorgamen, our Ultraloth. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. In a moment here, we'll take a look at chat. Name will be taken says, good thing they have, I don't know, mace, there we go. They have a mace to spray in the Yugoloth's face. There we go. There in the chat, my window is so small that the emotes are hovering over what you guys are saying in chat, and it's hard for me to see what's being said, unfortunately. I'll have to see if my, what is it called there? My OBS can show me chat here instead of seeing it on through YouTube. Anyways, that is going to be, like I said, Remiel's turn. Now we're up to Rorgamen here, who is going to have the following for their abilities and such. No legendary actions, whew, thankfully. They can true sight through anything. They have a bunch of languages. They are immune to acid and poison. They have resistances to cold, fire, and lightning, as well as non-magical attacks, and they are immune to charmed, frightened, and poisoned. And then we have a spell book here of a bunch of stuff. Most of it is kind of pointless, except for maybe invisibility, firestorm, mass suggestion, which could come in handy. Dimension door, fear, wall of fire. Alright, so half of it is good, half of it could be kind of pointless. And then we also have the abilities of innate spellcasting, magic weapons, magic resistance, teleport, hypnotic gaze, multi-attack, and longsword. So let's take a look at that teleport here. The Ultraloth, Yugoloth would work too. The Ultraloth can teleport up to 60 feet in any space it wants. So that's pretty handy as an action. And then it can also go invisible. So we'll probably do something like that, considering, the main idea is getting rid of the Celestials and not conducting whatever they need to do inside of this temple here. It's probably going to take much longer than they have, so they're going to have to clear out these Celestials for whatever their plans are. So, let's see here. We're going to have the Yugoloth. Sure, we'll do a teleport. See if I can get this right. Alright, let's go back over here. So, okay, it just does the teleport thing. We're going to say... Is it going to let me click somewhere? Oh, there we go. Cool, it did actually click. Excellent. So he clicks over to here, and then he's going to cast the invisibility spell to put himself invisible. So we're going to go ahead and target himself just to make sure. And invisibility, where are you hiding? Did I not see that correctly? Hold up. Where's the invisibility? I know I saw it. Touch creature. It's the iguana. Oh, there it is. I could not see it. Okay, so he is going to concentrate on invisibility and turn himself invisible. So, for the time being, he is invisible now, and he will then again go ahead and move, we'll say 30 feet up to here. Alright, so for the effectiveness, our Ultraloth is invisible for the moment. Just note that teleport costs 1 action. Oh, right. Yeah, I can't do the invisibility. I forgot about that. Let's back this up a little bit. Yeah, I was getting way ahead of myself here. Okay, what just happened here? Is he invisible? Alright, cool. So we'll do the invisibility instead, and we'll go over here instead. That's right. Can't teleport and go invisible at the same time. And yes, more than likely, the Celestials have true sight, but hey, does this Ultraloth know? Maybe, maybe not. So that would be Rorgamen's turn, and we will now go to Cockabel's turn. So let's go ahead and take a look at our big boy Cockabel here. Cockabel has no legendary actions. True sight to 120 feet, so he knows exactly where that Ultraloth has gone. Whole bunch of languages, probably all of them, and is resistant to radiant and non-magical attacks, as well as immune to charmed, exhaust, and frightened. Let's see, spellbook. We do have a spellbook of a bunch of different things. Insect Plague could be fun. Control Weather and Commune are pointless here. Blade Barrier might be helpful. Dispel Evil and Good. Flame Strike, Raise Dead. Invisibility himself. Detect Good and Evil as well. And then we have Magic Resistance, Divine Awareness, which does what? Planetar knows if it hears a lie. Oh, very good. Which is really important against the Yugoloth. And then Angelic Weapons, Healing Touch, Multi-Attack for 2 big old Greatsword attacks. Alright, so let's see here. We're going to go ahead and have the... How far can he fly? Wrong button. He can fly 120 feet. So considering these ones haven't moved just yet, he's going to go ahead and fly right on up into this. And then he's going to go ahead and cast his big boy spell there of Flame Strike. So that's going to be a 10-foot cylinder, 60-foot range, vertical column of Divine Fire Sprouts. So let's go ahead and place that. I mean, yeah, that works too. Okay, perfect. I can hit all of them. There we go. Big old column of fire comes up. So, Flame Strike. Off on the right here, we see that we'll be dealing 25 points of damage with a DC 20 dex save. Kelgarach fails with a 25 at advantage. Zeg fails as well as Thud. They all fail with advantage. And that will deal them 20 actual points of damage, as the fire damage was reduced, but not the radiant. Yeah, you just noticed that the Celestials knows Thieves can't, huh? I mean... Yeah, there it is. Do they know Druid, too? Yeah, they knew Druidic as well. They know all the languages. They're Celestial. I don't know. They got a lot of time on their hands. Okay, so that is going to be that spell there, and dealing those Yugoloths a whole bunch of fiery damage. And will hold its ground. Alright, so Cockabell's turn is finished. And we move on to Tabris, our Firemane Angel. Let's take a look at this competitor here and see what they have to offer. Once again, no legendary actions, thankfully. They have True Sight to 120 feet. They know all the languages as well. They are resistant to fire and radiant damage as well as non-magical attacks. Immune to Charmed, Exhaust, and Frightened. For a spellbook, they have Guiding Bolt, Compelled Duel, Fireball, and Daylight. And then they have the following features of Longsword, Multi-Attack, Flyby, Magic Resistance, Relentless, which is, let's see here, the Angel takes 21 or damage less. Oh yes, they can not be reduced to, not be defeated and instead reduced to 1 hit point. And then Innate Spellcasting. And that should be, let me see something here. That should be once per day, I thought. Huh, there's no limiter on it. Okay, whatever. Let's see here. Name will be taken says, I imagine a celestial shape changing into a humanoid shape to buy stolen holy items off the black market. Yeah, that would be a good, a good use of their time. All right, and their multi-attack is going to be 2 longsword attacks. So we do have the Fireball and we have a Guiding Bolt. There is the True Sight thing going on here, so we're going to go ahead and see. With 120 feet, Tabris here sees the Yugoloth slinking off to the side and is worried that they're going for the Holy Sight. So she'll go ahead and fly on over to here and then hit our Yugoloth with the Guiding Bolt spell. So let's go ahead and pull up that Guiding Bolt, consume a usage, and then watch the spell effects go off. Oh, there it goes. And a pew, pew, pew. Big old pew, pew there. And unfortunately, our Firemane Angel misses the Ultraloth here with an AC of 19. She misses by 1 point, unfortunately, and does not hit with a Guiding Bolt. How many uses of that does she have left? It looks like 2 more uses. Okay. So that is our Firemane Angel's turn. And with that, now is the battle map's turn. And since we all, everyone voted, we are going for, let's see here. We're pulling up the battle map, and because it's the water element, or the elementals thing, we have a big old water elemental that just spawns right here on the baths of this water fountain. And the water elemental themselves is going to use their action to summon a whole bunch of ice methods. Less pally, more cleric. Know thine enemies are always active tongue spells. True. So this water elemental is going to be summoning ice methods, and we're going to summon, let's see here, 1d6 worth of, let's say 1d6 plus 2, because because I want to make sure we get a few number of ice mephits here who get, you know, they sprout, they do a little bit of damage, and then they die at the end of their turn. So we're going to go ahead and roll a d6 plus 2 for a total of 5 ice mephits that just sprout randomly. So we're going to just throw them all around here. And let's see here. So, ice mephits. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So 5 ice mephits get sprouted, and they all go after and attack something, and they'll die at the end of their turn. So they probably don't have True Sight, which they don't. They only have Dark Vision, so they're going to go for probably the closest things to attack, and our ice mephits are going to rush up and attack the Celestials that they are next to. Alright, so attack number 1 is going to be a Claw. What spell do they have? They have Fog Cloud. Alright, they're not worried about Fog Cloud. And that's going to be a miss there. We're going to go through these real quick as they try to claw at their respective targets. Oh, that's a natural 20 from that one, and hits Cockabell for 11 points of cold damage, reduced to 8. And then we have another miss from that one, and then Remiel, who is flying up high, but these ice mephits can also fly, is going to go ahead and attack him as well. So, let's see here. He should be 20 feet up. Yes, I forgot to add in the 20 feet up there. So, we'll go ahead and roll the attacks of those. In this instance, Lucan, they can. This is a special instance where the water elemental is summoning ice mephits. They missed the chance to call the ice mephit popsicles. Oh, yes. Shot missed, unfortunately. And oddly, Remiel should have been on dodge. Why is he still not on dodge? There we go. Put him back on dodge. The ice mephits all missed anyways. And now, at the end of their turn, as the battle map's turn is over, they all die and explode. So, what do they explode with? Let's see here. We're going for the Death Burst effect. And for these ones, they explode into jagged bits of ice, and each creature within 5 feet needs to make a dex save or take 1d8 slashing damage. So, let's see here. First, we're going to start with Tabris here, who has to take that. Move that off to the side a little bit so we can see what's going on here. And obviously, Tabris succeeds. And then this ice mephit blows up. Oh, no. There we go. Come on. Death Burst. That's what I'm looking for. Come on. There we go. Gonna move through these nice and quick. Okay, and then we will review in just a moment here. Alright, so, for the death bursts of these ice mephits, Tabris succeeds with a 16, only taking 1 point of cold damage. Cockabell succeeds on his, and it looks like he only takes 1 point of damage as well. I might have missed one, but that's alright. And then Death Burst on Remiel. Actually, here, let's go ahead and do this real quick. There we go. So we have another one properly. And then Remiel succeeds both of his, only taking 1 and 0 points of damage. And then 1 point for Cockabell. So these ice mephits don't do much in ways of damage, but they are obnoxious little, traps for the area. Anyways, so that is the battle map's turn, as the water elemental is still here, and that's its job, is it's going to continue summoning these ice mephits. So the angels might be insistent on getting rid of that water elemental in order to deal with these Yugoloths a little easier. Alright, up next is going to be Thud, our one Canoloth, and let's take a look at them real quick. And I'm on the wrong item here. There we go. So, our Canoloth obviously has no resistances, has true sight to 120 feet, can speak some languages, is immune to acid and poison, and is resistant to cold, fire, and lightning, has some also non-magical damage, and is immune to poisoned. They have nothing in their spellbook, and then they have the following. They have uncanny senses, which means they can't be surprised. They have magic resistance, dimensional lock, which means they can't be teleported. And they also have a bite, claw, and tongue for the multi-attack. So they can either make 1 bite or tongue attack and 1 claw attack. I don't know why. Oh, to try and grapple. I see. Okay. What's going to do better here? Oh yeah, the tongue attack is probably better off. Alright, so Thud, our first Canoloth, is just going to bark a few times and then rush right on up to go attack Cacabel. So he's going on up to go ahead and do a tongue and claw attack. Come on, give me the, there it is, that's what I was looking for. Alright, so tongue attack number 1 is going to be a base 18 total 25 to hit Cacabel, and that is going to be 11 points of piercing and acid damage reduced to 8, and then I thought he was supposed to make a save. Let's see here for the tongue attack. Oh, if it's medium or smaller. So yeah, they're not going to restrain them at all. Okay, then we go in for a claw attack against Cacabel. Base 2 is not going to hit with a total of 9, and that is Thud's turn. We then move on to Kel Garach, who is next up here, and let's take a look at his. No legendary actions or resistances. Has blind sight and dark vision to 60 feet. Can speak some languages, immune to acid and poison, and we have the cold fire and lightning resistance as well as non-magical attacks and immune to poison. Let's see here, what am I missing? Hair Doctor says you'd think that it would know to attack only aggressors, but then again, what do you expect from someone imprisoned in a fancy decoration? Exactly. And then Name says, as a note, dimensional lock stops creatures from teleporting to the Canoloth within 60 feet. Oh, good to know. Thank you for that, because I definitely overlooked that. Spellbook. They have a little bit of a spellbook. Mirror Image, Invisibility, Dispel Magic, Detect Magic, and Darkness. Mirror Image probably... Well, no. Mirror Image wouldn't help here because of True Sight. More than... Yeah. A creature is unaffected by this spell if it can see, if it relies on senses other than sight, such as blind sight, or if it can perceive through illusions, such as true sight. So, yeah, a mirror image is not going to work or help him out at all either. So he's better off just kind of rushing right on up. 60 feet of flying movement, so he's going to go ahead and make some big old attacks as well. So he's going to go ahead and fly right on up to Remiel. So, directly, indirectly, he's going to fly up 20 feet. And just go right for Remiel here to start attacking. Alright, and I didn't get a look at the multi-attack. They can see here. Make 2 melee attacks, or it makes 1 melee attack and teleports before or after the attack. Well, we'll just go ahead with the 2 Great Axe attacks. Alright, so Remiel's being targeted, and we are going in for 2 Great Axe attacks. And attack number 1 is coming in with a base 14. That's a total of 23, and that is a massive axe hitting for 23 points of damage, which deals full damage. Laughing at that, the Yugoloth chuckles mightily with its massive frame and goes in for an attack number 2. Base 9, total of 18, once again hits Remiel, dealing him 15 points of damage, and Remiel is at about beyond 25% of his actual hit points. So, that is a big chunk for that little, I don't want to say little, but that Deva there. And then last to go for round 2 is Zeg. Zeg follows up with Thud, rushes up to the Cacabel, and goes in for the attack. He was on dodge. Somehow he keeps losing dodge. I will definitely go ahead and roll twice for the D20s there. But with a, what is that? A +9 to hit? Yeah, +9 to hit. Okay. I don't know why he lost dodges again. 10 and a 16. Yeah, those are going to hit because, yeah, no worries about that. Okay. Thank you, Truck95. Remiel still gets hit by the 2 attacks. Alright, up next is going to be Zeg as we finish off round 1 here and goes in for the same 2 attacks on Cacabel. So we're going to go for the tongue attack. And then a claw attack. Base 16 to hit, total of 23. That's going to be 21 points of piercing and acid damage reduced to 13. And then we have a claw attack. And that claw attack is a natural 20, folks. 27 total to hit, 30 points of slashing and force damage, reduced to 26. Not bad. That's a lot of force damage that just came in and nailed Cacabel there, who is down below 25% of their life, as we see zooming in here. At the end of round 1, I'm going to go ahead and end our poll here, and it seems we have a tie between rolling for 100% or lower and 1% and higher. So, I will go ahead and roll a D2 to see which one we're taking. Oh, right, the Infernal Injury. Let's see here. Great Axe. No, that's a... I think we're thinking of the Bearded Devils, maybe? That might be them, Truck95. Yeah, this guy's got nothing else besides just big 2d12 damage. And then the claw. Yeah, okay. We're good. We're good. All right, so since we have an even split of 100% and 1%, I'm going to roll a D2, excuse me, roll 1d2. And this will determine if we are going high or low. 1 will be low, 2 will be high. And we're going high, folks, so we're taking 100% and lower this time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. And I will put up the last poll for tonight's game here. Who, of course, is going to take the win? So, who's taking the W? Are we talking about the old Yugi boys? Heavenly boys? Or the third-party Devastator? Go ahead and cast your votes now as we end round 1 here and go for the roll. Looking at the channel, we have 9 likes, which I will add to the 100%. So that means from 90 to 100. Let me see here. Yes. So 91 to 100. 91 to 100, we will be seeing the third party come in. So we have basically roughly a 10% chance. All right, and here comes the roll for our third party Devastator. Oof, with a 73, we do not see the third party coming in, unfortunately. Oh, the Horn Devil. That could be it too. Unfortunately, I don't have time to look that one up. But we end round 1 here with no third party Devastator and no clear side of who might take home the W so far, although the Yugoloths are looking to be at advantage right now, at least damage-wise. We move to the top of round 2, and Remiel is our first one to go, our Deva here. So our Deva is probably not going to bother with any spells. Yeah, no need to do any spells, and it's just going to go ahead and swing the mace. So he's gonna reposition just a little bit to make it different here, and is going in to start attacking, as if maybe to say, you know, someone want to come over here and help me kill this thing, and goes in for the two mace attacks against our Yugoloth. With a base 19 total of 27, that is indeed a hit for 31 points of bludgeoning and radiant damage. Goodness gracious! 27 total damage, and this Yugoloth has been dealt beyond a third of its life for one attack. Going in for attack number 2, that's going to be a base 18, total of 26, for another mighty hit of 27 points of damage, reduced to 22, and our, what is he again? A Nycaloth here has been bloodied. He's officially below half health here. That was a massive hit from our Deva as his turn ends and stays put where he is, flying up in the air. All right, that is Remiel's turn. Up next is Rorgamen, our Ultraloth, who is going to obviously go ahead and drop the spell he is concentrating on because it's pointless at this point. So we will end that. And his token is still MIA. Weird. Okay. I will pull in another token to get him back in. Pardon me, I have minutes here. And I need to add him back into the thing here. And update combatant to, what was it, 20? Yeah, we'll say just 20. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was weird. He got turned invisible and disappeared completely. Alright, so Rorgamen, let's take a look at his attributes here. High, very, very high intelligence, 18, with a high wisdom. He is definitely going to want to help someone that is in a little bit of trouble here. So, that is basically Kelgaroth. Kelgaroth is in trouble at the moment, and he can move. How far can he move? 30 feet or 60 feet of flying, so he will go ahead and fly that 60 feet and move over to the side here to attack. Now, what can he do again? He has a multi-attack of Hypnotic Gaze and 3 melee attacks. All right, so he's going to go in. Let's see here. He can get that far, 60 feet to fly in. So he can't go for the flank, but he can move in enough to go in to attack Remiel. So, let's see here. The Ultraloth can use its Hypnotic Gaze and make 3 melee attacks. The Hypnotic Gaze Sparkles opalescent light as it targets one creature within 30 feet. Charmed and stunned. Alright, he'll do that after the couple longsword attacks here. So we'll go ahead and make those and then go in for the dazzling eyeball effect. Come on. There it is. Alright, attack number 1 against Remiel as he flies up to 20 feet within range. And we'll go in for the attack. Attack number 1 is going to be a base 9, total of 17, hits Cockabell for 5 points of slashing, goes in for another attack, base 16, total of 24, that's 8 more points of slashing, and then the final attack here is going to be a 19 base, almost a critical hit. Ooh, low damage, lowest you can get there with a total of 4 points of damage, and then goes in for the Hypnotic Gaze. Alright, so the gaze against our Deva here is going to be a fail. With a DC 17 wisdom save, Remiel is dazed and confused. At least I think so anyways. Fails the check. Let's double check here and see what about his immunities. He cannot be charmed, exhausted, or frightened. So let's see here. And the Hypnotic Gaze does what? Charms, but can be stunned. Now I wish I could just drag and drop this, but I can't. If the target can see the Ultraloth, the target will see them succeed or be charmed until the charmed target. Oh, he can't even be stunned either. So that's, yeah, alright. So he can't be charmed, so he can't be stunned either. Alright, well, that is the end of that turn. Rorgamen has beautiful eyes, you could say. They're hypnotizing. Yeah, unfortunately, because he's not charmed, he's not stunned. You have to be charmed first, and he's immune to being charmed. So, Rorgamen has learned a lesson. Let's see, Truck95 says, I'm looking at the stats on D&D Beyond, and it's supposed to have a claw attack with the Fiendish Wound for our Nycaloth. Oh, yeah, I haven't used the claw attack. That's why we're not seeing it, Truck. Yeah, it's hiding in the claw. I've been using the Great Axe because it does more damage, but I wasn't thinking about the inflict wounds from the claw. So we can do both. We'll do that next time. Yeah, exactly, Lucan. Alright, so that is Rorgamen's turn. He has learned a valuable lesson, and it's Cockabell's turn. So let's take a look at Cockabell here and see what he's about to do. Well, we've already used one of 3 flame strikes. We could do a blade barrier. I don't really want to get into that. That's kind of annoying. Vertical wall of razor sharp blades. Most of our things can fly, so that's pointless. We could, let's see here, dispel evil shade. For duration, Celestials in Null Phase and Undead have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Oh, we could do Dispel Evil and Good. That could be funny. We could also do Insect Plague, which could be fun. Let's go ahead and do that. Or we could just swing the big sword a couple times. Let's see here. What is the range? What's the size of this thing here? It is a 20-foot sphere, huh? Probably could have done that before doing the fiery thing. Okay, let's just swing the big sword. And we will go ahead and he's going to position, and that will give Zeg an attack of opportunity. So he will go ahead and go for the, we'll see with a bite as an attack of opportunity. Base 8 to hit, misses Cockabell, and Cockabell shifts over here to flank against Kelgarach. And is going in for 2 big old greatsword attacks because he has the multi-attack to do it. Alright, so attack number 1 is going to be at advantage. And we will go ahead and roll. That's going to be a base 13, total of 25, and that massive sword comes out to hit for 36 points of damage, reduced from 45 due to resistances and such, and then goes in to hit one more time against Kelgarach here. At advantage again for flanking, we have a base 17, total of 29 to hit, and that's going to be a total of 47 damage, and Kelgarach drops onto the ground and is defeated. You hear a bit of a howling from our Canoloths here as their master and controller has been defeated by the mighty and giant Cockabell. The tides of this battle have drastically turned here, folks, as we move on to Tabris and her turn. So what is she going to do next? Technically, she could flank against Thud right here, but let's take a look at some of her spells. She does have Fireball, which is probably pointless considering these guys are resistant to fire damage, but they're not resistant to divine damage. So we could go ahead and do that one more time. and start getting rid of these, or she could target the water elemental and get rid of that, because it could be a nuisance. But the pressing matter right now are the fiends of the undead. So she's going to go and shift a little bit and target one for the guiding bolt attack again. All right, and we'll target this one instead. Guiding bolt attack. Yeah, use it. There we go. And that's going to be a base 8 total of 18, which does indeed hit our Canoloth here and deals a total of 14 points of damage. But as we know, folks, from Guiding Bolt, that is going to give advantage on the next turn, right? The next attack roll made against the target has advantage. There we go. So this guy has been marked. I'm going to go ahead and use... what am I going to do? I'm just going to mark it like that. He's not really flying. It's just going to be the advantage mark. All right, so that's going to be the end of Tabris's turn, as she actually will continue moving and get away from the water elemental. All right, that is the end of Tabris's turn, and she's now we move on to the battle map. So we're gonna go ahead and see how many of the ice mephits this water elemental summons. So we're gonna go ahead and do the d6 plus 2 again, and we're going to see that we get maximum ice mephits for a total of 8 this time. All right, let's go ahead and start pulling in the ice mephits. The popsicles, as I was alerted to, so we have 1, and there it is, 2, 3. Oh, no, not another our Canoloth. That was the wrong one. 3. We got a 4 here, a 5, a 6, 7, and then 8. So they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of ice mephits that come on up to make some attacks. All right, so these two are perfectly, they're all good. This one's going to come on over to here. This one's going to move over to here. We'll have this one go to here. Actually, this one, since it moved a little bit more, will come down to here to target this one. They're all kind of going for individuals as much as possible. This one flies down to here. And this one will also fly to here. All right, now for the quick attacks here. First attack with the claws. Come on, where are you? There we go. All right. You guys watch the side here, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to pay much attention to that, but you can see the damage as it's coming in. All right, here we go. We got another ice mephit coming in. More ice mephits rolling for the attacks. That one there. And then... oh, almost rolled the wrong attack. Okay, so... we have a whole bunch of misses and more misses. And yeah, a whole bunch of misses going on here. So... the ice mephits try to make their attacks, they do nothing and miss, and then they all explode. So now we have the fun of watching them explode. Alright, let's get to the features here. Oh, I think the death burst is down here, right? No, it's not in the features at all. Alright, let me shrink this. Can I? I can't shrink it. Okay. In any event, let's go ahead and blow them all up. Death burst. Okay. Now the funny part is, because creatures within 5, a lot of people have to make these rolls. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. All right, we are rolling through these. And we're almost done. Whole bunch of D20s here, folks, as these ice mephits come in for the attacks and then explode. Alright, so yeah, that did a whole bunch of little damage. They really didn't do much of anything, as the ice mephits are just here more for a nuisance and would probably be a bigger deal if there were adventurers here. Alright, so that is the... oh, I lost my attack tracker, my combat tracker. That is the battle map's turn, and we move on to Thud and Zeg's turns. Okay, so Thud is going to go ahead and just turn and start attacking against Cacabel. They have no person to lead them. They have a low intelligence, but they do have a very high wisdom. So that's something to take into account. They'll know when to flee. Although they are on the material plane, so dying isn't that big of a deal. It just hurts. Any event, let's go ahead and go in for the attacks here. There we go. We're going to go in for the tongue attack and attack Cacabel. So that's going to be a base 4, total 11 to miss, and then go in for a claw attack. And that's going to be a base 16, total 23, does indeed hit Cacabel for 16 points of slashing damage, reduced to 13. And then Zeg is going to... yeah, I mean, this is who they were attacking anyway, so very low intelligence. They're just going to keep attacking Cacabel. So we now have our next Canoloth here, Zeg, go in for the attack. And for his turn, he will also do a tongue attack as well as the claw attack. Base 11, total of 18 misses for the tongue, and then we go on for the claw. That's going to be a base 14, total of 21 to hit, and the claw attack does land, dealing 15 points, reduced to 12. And Cacabel is getting nearer to that halfway point there. I'm going to go ahead and make him invisible, since he is now dematerializing to the material plane, or back to the hells, I should say. Bottom of round 2, we go ahead and roll for our third-party check. We have 10 likes on the channel here, folks, for this live stream, which is fantastic. I think this is the highest amount of likes we've seen yet, and I'm going to go ahead and roll. So we are looking for 100 to 90%, so 90 to 100, which should be 11% chance here, to see if anything indeed comes in. And the dice are rolling, and we have, oh, unfortunately, that is a 13. Still wouldn't have been close. I mean, it would have been extremely close if we were rolling low, but we do not see a third-party Devastator come in for the end of round 2, folks. With that at the end, we now move on to the top of round 3 with Remiel up, who is going to go ahead and shift in a way to suggest, hey, Cacabel, come help me finish off this Ultraloth here. And he swoops in and swoops to the side and goes in for the attack against Rorgamen here. Alright, so once again, only 2 mace attacks and no good spells to really use. Could heal himself if he wanted to, but he doesn't. Base 18 to hit, total of 26. That's going to be a total of 21 points of bludgeoning and radiant, reduced to 17, dealing Rorgamen his first amount of damage. Up next is the second attack, and that's going to be a base 14, hitting for 22, and that will be 29 points of damage for 26 reduced. Only a little bit. We only reduced like 3 points off of that bludgeoning damage. It's all that radiant damage, folks. These boys be celestial. All right, so that is the end of Remiel's turn, and we now have Rorgamen, who is on round 3 here, has lost one of his companions. Things are not looking so great. There's still about even odds at the moment, but let's take a look at his spells. What could he potentially do? Something big here to get out of dodge. Do have Wall of Fire, which isn't going to work. It's kind of pointless. We could do a Firestorm. That could be something. We do have Dimension Door, which is an action. What is that? Was that the one that explodes? Yeah. If you arrive in a place already occupied... Oh, no. That, if you take damage there. No, I'm thinking of Thunderstep. That's what I'm thinking of. Dimension Door. Just get you out of dodge fast. Clairvoyance, Darkness, Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts. Nothing really here is going to help. We could try Mass Suggestion and tell them to leave. We're going to try Mass Suggestion, folks. It worked before, and it might work again. So let's see here. What's the range on Mass Suggestion? 60 feet. How far away is Rorgamen from Tabris? Perfect. Everyone here is within range, and we're going to go ahead and try the Mass Suggestion. So I need to make a little check here and see how many people it's targeting. It can target up to 12, but I only need it to target 3. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that to 3 real quick, because you'll see why in a moment. And our Ultraloth, Rorgamen, is going to cast Mass Suggestion. Suggestion, is it a charm? Yes, it is a charm. He doesn't quite know that, so this is a learning experience for our Ultraloth here. I mean, he is smart enough, too, so he would probably know better than that. Oh, right. Yes, that's right. We did see that the charm effect would go through, so he's not going to use Mass Suggestion. Okay, good point. You're right. He's not going to do that. He could try Firestorm. Firestorm could work. 10 targets. We'll just do 3 targets. Alright, we'll do Firestorm instead. You've convinced me. They are all immune, you're right. So we're going to do one there. Oh, jeez. I thought I was going to get more than that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. No targets to save. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, the Firestorm is made up of each creature must make a dex save. Excuse me. Against DC 17. Alright, so I'm just going to do quick saves here because I want to get that Firestorm done and out of the way. I thought they were going to let me put down more. Yeah, what is the deal here? Why did this not range 3 feet? Activation draws. 3 targets, a cube. Oh, that's what that was. Oh, okay. 10-foot cube. 3 instances of it. Alright, let's try this again. I totally goofed that one up. Alright, we'll do this again. Place measure templates, consume available uses. Alright, so we got that at least. Okay. And then I'll just do, because I can lay down a bunch of targets, target areas, each cube, yeah, you put down up to 10-foot cubes. Right, so Cockabell and Tabris are also going to make the saves here. So we'll go ahead and do these saves for them. Oh, I'm on the wrong button again. There we go. Dexterity save from Cockabell. And I believe he has advantage, right? Oh, damage, let me see here. Features. Magic resistance. Yes, so he should have... Alright, so he has an 18, so with his bonuses, he definitely got that, because the DC is a 19, I believe. And then for her, for Tabris, should have also rolled another d20. We'll do one more dex save as well. Oh, wait. That did give me the bonus there, so let me roll one more for him as well. A little confused. Alright, so I think... Oh, no, it's a 17. Alright, so Cockabell passes. Tabris fails. So Cockabell is going to take half and half of that. So he'll take half of 23, which would be 11 points of fire damage. Yes, thank you. So Cockabell takes 11 points of damage. And Tabris will take half of that, dealing only 23 points of damage to her. There we go. Alright, so everyone's squared away. The Ultraloth has done their spell. And then, yeah, I guess he's going to hold his place at the moment. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And that will be the end of Rogamen's turn. We will now go on to Cockabell, who apparently is still doing something here. What is the effect on him? Oh, the Flame Strike template? That should be gone away. Alright. That's gone. Cockabell is going to turn and start thwacking these Canoloths here, and goes in for the attack on the Thud here instead of moving over to help Remiel. He goes ahead and swings away with the greatsword at advantage because of the the guiding bolt. Rolls a 9, total of 21, hits for 52 points of slashing and radiant damage, reduced to 42, and Thud is almost a thud on the ground. He did take a good thud on the head, unfortunately. And then goes in for another attack. And that's going to be a base 16, total of 28 without advantage, and is dealt 46 points of damage and reduced to 34, and is still alive with 7 hit points, folks, as Cockabell and this Canoloth here are taking some serious damage. Alright, that is the end of Cockabell's turn, and Tabris is probably going to fly up to try and finish off this Canoloth here. Getting in the flank position, she's going to go and swing for, what is that? Features here. Multi-attack. 2 of her longsword attacks. At advantage, goes in for the attacks. Oh, a natural 20 thanks to that advantage, and that's going to be 16 points of damage. And Thud is down and defeated, and she shifts up one more time to go ahead and attack Zeg this time, finishing off her attack as well. And that's going to be a base 18, total of 28, 11 points of slashing damage, reduced to 5, unfortunately, because of, non-magical attacks. Now, the funny part is, does she have... No, her abilities are not magical. So, she does not get through the attack. Okay, so, yes, that was, unfortunately, Thud being knocked out, and now the Yugoloths are at a bad and precarious position here. We move on from Tabris's turn, and it's now the battle map's turn to roll a d6 plus 2 for Mephits to spawn into this area and annoy people. So we have 6 more Mephits. Unfortunately, because the Mephits really do nothing, I'm not going to bother because we are already this late into the battle here. So unfortunately, our water elemental spawns them, does some damage, and I will deal everyone like 2 points of damage collectively because these Mephits sadly aren't doing anything here. Like I said, it's more for thieves, adventuring types and whatnot. So they all collectively will take 2 points of ice damage as the Mephits come in, try to attack, and then slash and whatnot. So that is the battle map's turn, and we move on to the bottom of round 3 with Zeg, who is in a very precarious position here. Now, they are pretty wise, but they do have a bad intelligence, so they know when they're being outnumbered. And because of that, they're just going to move and get closer to the Ultraloth for guidance and what to do here. Now, the problem is they have a 5 intelligence, so they're going to unfortunately take attacks of opportunity from both the angels here, the celestials, and they don't use their action to to disengage. And I think I hate when I double click the wrong way. Yeah, they can only move, they can't fly, thankfully. So Tabris is going to go ahead and take her attack of opportunity, and that's going to be a natural 20, folks. Unbelievable here, as we get 20 points of slashing damage, sadly reduced to 10, as Zeg gets hit with an attack of opportunity, and then Cacabel also goes in for an attack of opportunity, which should have been an advantage, but still hits. We'll go ahead and roll for that crit and see what happens there. Unfortunately, it's not a crit, so 39 points of damage reduced to 29, and Zeg is bloodied as he rushes off, yipping and yapping for help from Rorgamen here. And, we'll take a bite. We'll, before he moves, we'll say goes in for a bite against Cacabel. A couple attacks and then moves, because they can't really do much of anything else. They don't have a spellbook, and their features are just that. So, yeah. Let's take a look at that. Other creatures can't teleport to or from a space within 60 feet of the Canoloth. Any attempts to do so is wasted. Now, that's really funny, because they're fearing for their lives now, and the Ultraloth is the only way of getting out of here. Alright, so it's going to go in and take the attacks. It's actually going to attempt the attacks before it runs away on Tabris here. I don't know, maybe it'll double... What do it do? Double run? It just needs to get out of dodge. Yeah, it's going to do this instead of attacking. It's going to do its movement to here. And then it's going to rush down and over this way. And then it's getting as far away as possible. Rushes up that way. And that will be the end of Zeg's turn, as it's now fearing for its life. Now, we are within 60 feet or so. Let me just double check the rules. The ruler here, 50 feet to here. Yeah, so these guys are all locked down from teleporting at the moment. Alright, so that is the end of round 3. We now have 11 likes on the live stream, which is fantastic. Thank you all so much for the likes. I really appreciate it. It does help out in more ways than one. And we're going to go ahead and roll our D100 here. Now, because it's 11 likes, this will be an 89 to 100. That should be the 11 likes on top of that. So 89 to 100, and we see our third party come in. Oh boy, that's a 98, folks! As the end of round 3 comes in, there's suddenly a massive wave that comes splashing up into the area. And from out of the depths of the ocean, a massive creature comes up. And that massive creature, as one of you guessed, was indeed... Where are you hiding here? The Devastators. Fluffy, the Destroyer of Shores. The Kraken makes landfall and begins to move in here, folks. We're going to go ahead, as we get into round 4, add Fluffy into the encounter and start destroying this temple. Who would have thought that we'd see the Devastator come in with such a low chance? But the 12 of you that have liked the channel have brought in the Kraken. Someone has released the Kraken, folks. And we are now rolling initiative. Yes, a normal roll, please. And the initiative is, 3 at the bottom of the encounter. So this is going to give people the chance to get out of here as Fluffy, the Destroyer of Shores, comes into play. Now, this is not big enough for a Kraken here. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. So let's go ahead and adjust this to 8 by 8, folks. That's an appropriate size for a Kraken. I think so anyway. Someone that's going to come in here and just destroy things. Could go even bigger than that, but this is a massive devastator, and I like that. That is much better. And all of a sudden you hear a yip and a yipe and a cowering as the Canoloth here suddenly sees this massive tentacles come flapping out of the ocean as the devastator comes in. All right, end of round 4, folks. We now have a third party in the game here, and we have Remiel, who is too busy to pay attention and sees that they are winning to have to deal with the Kraken at the moment and goes in to attack the Ultraloth. Would the Angels try to take on Fluffy and stop him? Probably, because this is a sacred site and our Kraken just wants to destroy. So yes, our Angels would probably help defend against this Kraken here. So Remiel is going to go in for the attacks. 2 quick mace strikes as he shifts over here and then sees in the distance the Kraken as he goes in for 2 attacks against Rorgamen here. Attack number 1, base 12 to hit, and that's going to be a total of 20 to hit, 20 points of damage, reduced to 17, goes in for a mace attack number 2, and then calls out with a base 19 for the hit, 27 to hit, total to hit, 23 more points of damage, reduced to 19, calls out to the other... calls out to the other Celestials, pointing out this massive Kraken coming in as they have more and bigger fish to fry. Alright, that is Remiel's turn, and up next is Rorgamen. Rorgamen looks in the direction of the Kraken, and because they are mercenaries and they weren't paid to deal with a Kraken, is going to go ahead and do a couple things here. First of all, it's going to go ahead and... let's see here, we got Celestial... Dimensional door. A dimension door is 200 feet up and off the map. And let's see here. If I click, yes, he does teleport. He teleports up and off the map and gets out of dodge. Rorgamen is officially off the map as he saves his own life. He is out of the battle, folks, as he has fled the scene. Up next is Kakabel, who goes ahead and prepares for the battle against this Kraken, maybe even destroying the Kraken and stopping it from destroying the worlds around here and the realms of man. First off, goes in and heals himself to prepare for this attack. So we're going to go ahead and do a healing touch on himself. Ooh, that's a big old heal right there. And does not actually roll the dice. So the target will regain a whole bunch of D8s worth. 34 points of healing. And starts to fly out towards the Kraken. Yes, they should probably definitely heal while they deal with that, for sure. Luckily, our Firemane Angel has not been defeated that much, and Remiel still needs to heal as well. So let's see here. They are going to take the turns prepping to heal. And then, let's see here. So that's Kakabel's turn. That was their action to heal up. Okay. And then the next action is going to be Tabris's turn. Let's see what she can do. Does she have a heal? Innate spellcasting. Guiding Bolt. No, she does not have a way to heal. Unfortunately, she just gets herself ready. So let's see. What else do we have? Daylight, Fireball, Compelled, Duel, and Guiding Bolt. She's going to go compel the Kraken. She is going to hold back and wait for the Angels here. All right, so that is going to be her turn. She kind of just goes and waits. Up next is the battle map. Actually, yeah, she's going to do this. She shifts away from there. Kakabel's also going to shift, which will, in essence, turn off the alarm here, and we're going to stop the elemental from spawning anything. So our battle map is officially done with turns. Up next is Fluffy, Destroyer of Shores. And Fluffy begins to move over. Actually, let's see here. How far can they move? 60 feet swim and then 20-foot movement. They have lair actions, but we don't have lair actions. Does have legendary actions and a whole bunch of stuff going on here. All right, so 60 feet begins to breach and comes up onto the shore. Sees the tasty little snack that is Zeg, and will deal with Zeg right off the bat here. So let's take a look here. Nothing for our spellbook. We do have some features, and that's going to be a multi-attack of 3 tentacle attacks, each of which can be replaced with 1 fling. So we're going to go ahead and make an attack with a tentacle against Zeg here. And that will be a tentacle attack. Oh, yeah, I didn't roll. There we go. That's how you do it. 33 to hit total, which will indeed hit Zeg. Zeg has been caught in the tentacle and is dealt 22 points of damage. Now, let's see what else our Kraken here can do. What do we got here? The bite. Oh, we do have the bite attack. So yeah, he's going to go ahead and go for a bite, I think. Can we do the bite? I forgot. 3 tentacles. Oh, no, we can fling. So he's going to go ahead and just fling. For the fun of it, he's going to go ahead and fling Zeg down to the south here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get that fling up. So the fling will be 1 creature or smaller, is thrown 60 feet in a random direction. Oh, it's random. Okay. And is knocked prone. So let's go ahead and roll randomly. So as per usual, 1 will be north, and then going clockwise for a D8, we'll see which way Zeg is thrown. And with that, we are thrown in a 7. So 60 feet out from roughly about here, and gets thrown into the ocean. Oh no, that would be west. Excuse me. So from here, we'll be thrown 60 feet. So that's 45, 60 feet through and into the tree and hits the ground hard, being dealt, what is that, 3d6? Or no, yeah, hold up. Ooh, wow. No, that's the bite. My bad. Fling. 1d6 for every 10 feet, 60 feet. So yeah, 66 worth of damage. And Zeg gets thrown, hits the ground, and takes, even though it's sand and kind of rocky areas here, 19 points of damage, reduced to 9 because of, you know, resistances and whatnot. No, you're right. The Kraken does not have magical attacks. So, Zeg gets thrown, hits hard, and is thrown over there. It's Zeg's turn, and Zeg, wants to save its own life and rushes off the map. Just randomly out in some way. We now have a separated group, and we have a lone Canoloth out wandering the wastes. Maybe he'll show up again. Who knows? Alright, so that is the end of round 4. We have no more checks to make, as our destroyer is here indeed to destroy this coastal line shrine. Up next is Remiel, who's going to go ahead and take the time to heal himself. Alright, so he does have a couple healing touches, and will go ahead to heal himself as he prepares for this onslaught of the Kraken. Alright, let's go ahead and do that healing touch. And then the healing thing goes off, but doesn't roll for... come on, give me the rolls. Let's do this. Fix this proper. I don't know why it does this. It should be healing. There we go. And we're dealing healing for 4d8 plus 2. 4d8 plus 2. And that's healing. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's do this again. Healing touch. There we go. Alright, healed for 23 points of damage. And then we will fix Cockabells as well real quick, because he also has the healing ability. Healing touch. This should be like this. And I don't know why they didn't set this up properly. Alright, so we're looking at healing formula. 68 plus 3 of healing. Excuse me. Alright, there we go. Perfect. That's Remiel's turn. Remiel is going to fly back ever so briefly just to keep some space for a little bit as they all prepare. And then Cockabell will do the same, but stay in the front and goes in to heal himself. He's going to go ahead and use the feature to cast Healing Touch. He will go ahead and heal touch on himself for an additional 25 points of healing. And then Tabris's turn is up. She's going to back up ever so much to draw the Kraken in. And then that will be the Battle Map's turn. And then we have Fluffy, the Destroyer of Shores. Fluffy begins to move in. Let's see here. We're only going 20 feet in. And starts to lash out a little bit. Well, let's see here. How far can their tentacles actually reach? They can reach 30 feet, and that should be just enough to start slashing at the temple here. So let's see here. From there, yeah, that's enough to start whacking at that. So we're going to deal a little bit of damage to the building. Let's see. Tabris should be hitting harder with 5d8 fire and radiant damage on a hit. Oh, for sure. And legendary actions. Oh, yes, yes. Legendary actions. What are the legendary actions? We have tentacle attacks, lightning storm, and ink cloud. Well, the ink cloud won't work here. We do have lightning storm, which we could be doing. Kraken uses lightning storm. Creates 3 bolts of lightning, each of which can strike a target the Kraken can see within 120 feet. True, yes. So we will go ahead and use lightning storm as per the rules here, and we'll go ahead and have them all take some damage on the end of Tabris' turn as it gets a little closer. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Where am I doing here? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Lightning storm on those 3. All right, so we got a whole bunch of lightning strikes coming in, and the rolls are coming in as such. For a DC 23 dex save, Remiel, Kakabel, and Tabris all fail, being dealt 24 points of lightning damage. And with that, this might be hard pressed for them to defeat them, but we'll see what happens as we get to the top of round 6 here, folks. We're going long on this one. We're going for a little longer because this is a massive fight here. We'll see what happens in just a moment. Remiel moves over to go ahead and heal Tabris, and then will join the battle afterwards. So uses one of their features here for the healing touch to heal Tabris since she can't do it herself. Goes in, heals 18 points of damage, and sends her off on her way. Kakabel's turn is up next, seeing that he was just struck by lightning and basically null and voided any kind of damage or damage healing he had done, flies in immediately to go and confront Fluffy, the destroyer of shores here, and goes in for the attack. 2 massive greatsword attacks coming in for this Kraken here. Attack number 1 is going to be a base 5, total 17, and misses, unfortunately. Attack number 2 is going to be a base 4 and misses again. Oh, this is not looking good, folks, for our Celestials. They may have bitten off more than they can chew. We'll see here in a moment as Kakabel's turn ends and Tabris goes in for the move as well. She can fly up to 120 feet, so that's going to be quite the move here. That will be probably enough to flank. Yeah, easily gets, flies up and over, swooshes cinematically through the tentacles of this writhing Kraken and goes in for the flank here. Goes into target and will start to strike with the longsword. All right, that is at advantage because of flanking. And, yeah, I didn't do the right thing here. Okay, hold up. There we go. Targeting, going in for the advantage to flank. Chat message. Something doesn't exist. Oh, natural 20, folks. Total 30. 17 points of slashing damage. All right, so hold up. What is going on here? Longsword. Oh, we're missing the radiant and fire damage. What in the world? Why is that not on there? Okay, let's get this in place. That should also be in here. Man, that is annoying. Okay, there we go. So 5d8, fire or radiant. We'll just go ahead and say radiant. Doesn't really matter. Where are you? Radiant. There you are. So I have to roll 5d8 on the side. We'll add that in for the damage. Oh, goodness. The slashing did absolutely nothing, but the 19 will do something here. So we're going to go ahead and roll, subtract the 19 there for the radiant. Now, let's take a look at something here. Why did that... Oh, my goodness. Immune to regular attacks. The Celestials might be in trouble here. Yes, I just noticed that, Truck 95. Thank you. But it didn't seem to really matter all that much. Alright, so at the end of Tabris' turn, Fluffy has one more legendary action to use, and we'll go ahead for the tentacle, and goes in to grab Kakabel. Oh, true, yeah. Oh well, it's unfortunate that it missed. I missed that there. Here, right when you think everything's all situated and set. Okay, so our Kraken here, Fluffy, goes in for the tentacle attack against Kakabel with their last legendary action, and will hit with a base 18, total of 35, and that's going to be 27 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced to 13. Now, because he's large, he might not be automatically restrained. Let's see here. Bludgeoning target is grappled. And until the grapple ends, the target is restrained. So yes, he is restrained. And I think I lost my convenient effect somewhere down the line. All right, so let's see here. Got to go in close for the restrained. And what is grappled? Burning, bleeding, poisoned, cursed. Flying, paralyzed, restrained, prone, blinded, deaf. All right, I don't see a grappled in here. It doesn't matter. We have the restrained well and good enough anyways. Question is, can he be restrained? Yes, he can be restrained. Okay. So he has been grappled and restrained by the tentacle. Yes, she does have 2 attacks. Did I miss? Oh, I did miss her second attack. Okay, thank you. Well then, I will go ahead and get that second attack. Totally missed that as well. It's getting late. All right, we'll finish up her turn as she goes in for the second attack here. At advantage, that's going to be a base 5 to hit, and unfortunately misses Fluffy as the tentacles swirl about, blocking and deflecting the attacks. So sadly, her second attack does not land. The battle map doesn't matter at this point anymore, folks, and we go on to Fluffy, who restarts all their legendary actions and goes in for their attacks. Already has Cocobel caught with the tentacles and is going to eat or go for the bite on Cocobel. Might as well. All right, so let's close up some of this stuff. We do have that bite, which is going to be fun, so we're going to go ahead and target Cocobel with the bite action. All right, here comes the bite, and that's going to be a base 4 total of 21 and does hit Cocobel for a total of 118 damage of piercing and acid. Oh my goodness. Is that correct? Let's double check this here. 3d8 plus 10. Oh, and they're adding in probably the restrained acid damage here. So if a target is large or smaller, which Cocobel is, he gets gulped by the Kraken here. And then we'll take some damage as well. So let's revert this damage just a little bit so we see what's going on here. Okay, so we have the 3d8 plus 10, so that will be 14 plus the 10, so that's going to be 24 points of piercing damage, which Cocobel should be resistant to. Yes, so he will take 12 points of piercing damage. And then he is blinded and restrained as he is swallowed. Total cover and is swallowed into the Kraken. So he is now in there. I'll put him right there. That is a very strong bite indeed. But we have the 12d6 to deal with, so that is 44 points of acid damage. At the start of each of the Kraken's turns, if the Kraken takes 50 or more damage from a single hit. So we will hold on to that damage as we come back to the Kraken's turn for Cocobel here. Alright, so moving on, we will go ahead and deal with this in a moment as we go into the top of round 6 and Remiel's turn. Remiel is going to go ahead and, let's see here, kind of would be a waste to go ahead and do anything else but fly in to provide flanking. So he's going to go ahead and fly the 70 feet up to try and protect. Now, he's going to fly to here, but because of spacing issues, this will be flanking and goes in to flank and attack. Now, let's just double check this mace. Radiant damage. I want to make sure it's got the radiant damage going in. Yes, okay, it does have the radiant damage. Good. Just to double check here. So he's going to go ahead and take a couple swings at the Fluffy here. And let's see what happens. Okay. Targeting, perfect. Let's zoom in a little bit and go in for the attack at advantage. That's going to be a base 19, total of 27 to hit, and that's going to be 28 points of bludgeoning and radiant, reduced to 23 because of immunities. Goes in for a second strike with the mace, and that's going to be an 18, and deals 22 more points of damage, reduced to 16. And that is Remiel's turn. And as Remiel's turn ends, the Kraken is going to go ahead and use one of its legendary actions to grab Remiel with its tentacle. All right, so let's see here. That is going to be a tentacle attack. And with a natural 20, that is a 37 total to hit, 25 points of damage, and reduced to 12. And Remiel is now restrained as well. Remiel has been grabbed by one of the tentacles. That is Remiel's turn, and we move on to Cocobel, who is stuck inside, restrained, and has disadvantage on the attacks, I believe, for restrained, right? Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not going to... I think that's restrained does a disadvantage on attacks, and is also blinded, so also disadvantage there. And we'll go in for 2 attacks to try and get out of this, unless he can get out some other way. Let's see here. No, his best ability is just to straight up attack and try to get out of there. Alright, attacking from the inside at disadvantage. 2 greatsword attacks. And that's going to be a base 11, total of 15. Unfortunately misses the first attack. Goes in for a second attack at a disadvantage with a natural 1 that is a second fail from Cocobel, who is stuck inside. And we move on to Tabris. Tabris' turn. As Cocobel's turn comes to an end, the Kraken goes in for another tentacle attack against Tabris here, and goes in for a tentacle to grab her as well. Tentacle attack with the legendary action with a base 18 does indeed hit for 35 with a total of 16. She is now restrained as well. This is not looking good for our Heavenly Court here, unfortunately, as she is now restrained as well. And we go in for Tabris' turn, who is restrained by the tentacles, I believe, right? Yes, restrained. She is going to attempt to escape, I guess. Yeah, okay. DC 18 to try and escape. And she doesn't have any good ways to get out of there. She could do a fireball. That might be helpful. Could do a guiding bolt instead. The fireball would probably be the best bet if she wants to deal some damage to this thing. Let's go ahead and do that. Might as well use it up. While she's restrained here, surprisingly, I don't believe there's any way to counteract that, and we'll go in for the fireball. Alright, so let's see here. Come on. There we go. Good. Cast a spell. Let's cast a fireball. And we will cast it right on top of Fluffy here. 38 points of fire damage. And Cocobel takes no damage because he is inside. And our Fluffy Destroyer of Shores fails with a 13 and takes 38 points of fire damage from the fireball. Alright, that is Tabris' turn, and we move on to the battle map, which doesn't matter. And let's see here. We do have the final legendary actions. We'll go ahead and make another legendary tentacle attack against Remiel. I mean, can we do that again? Yeah, we're just going to do the tentacle attack without grappling. So this is going to be an advantage against Remiel. And we'll make that attack. Tentacle attack goes in, base 14, total 31, and hits Remiel for 18 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced to 9. Get that dice out of here. And that will be the legendary actions for Fluffy. And then we move on to Fluffy, who is going to go ahead and bite Remiel to swallow him as well. Alright. And for the beginning of the turn, Cocobel has to make the save, which is way back here. And we'll take that. So Cocobel failed the save and is dealt a whole bunch of damage here. So that's 44 points of acid damage. How did we get 118? Wow. Where did that come from? That's really strange. Plus 10. Oh, plus 50. Oh, geez. Where did the 50 come from? What did I miss? Yeah, why is there 50 on that? Alright, let's get rid of that 50, because that 50 is ridiculous. That shouldn't be there, as far as I'm aware. That's absurd. Okay, so 44 points of acid damage to Cocobel, who is being eaten alive inside of the Fluffy here. Is not immune to it or resistant, so takes the full 44 points of damage. And is bloodied once again. Alright, so that is that. Now we're going in for Remiel here, who is going to be bitten as well as the Kraken goes to eat the Deva. And that will be, let's see here. And we're going for the bite. And that will be a 4. Hold on, we got to do this at advantage. Oh, it still hits regardless, but let's see if this is at advantage or not. Or for a critical hit. Okay, no critical hit. So let's go ahead and revert the damage. And that will be 14 points of piercing damage plus 10. Yeah, that's 11 plus 4, so 14 plus 10 is going to be 24, and that's going to be reduced in half to 12, and then is swallowed. Yeah, Fluffy does indeed have a very strong digestive system. But plus 50? Where did that plus 50 come from? That's ridiculous. Someone wanted to make this Kraken elite, apparently. Alright, so Remiel is now swallowed as well. And the only one left is our Firemane Angel, who, at this point, might have to take the loss here and go in to recruit some other angels to try and help. And let's see here. End of round... What do we got here? Round 7. Top of round 8. Remiel goes in to try and strike at the Kraken here. At disadvantage, needs to make some damage here to try and be expelled. We need to hit... 50 damage. That's where the 50 is, if it's ever taken 50 damage. Who put 50 in there for the damage? Oh man, that was silly. Alright, so Remiel has to take... I'll go ahead and start applying some damage. And real quick here. The Kraken takes 50 damage or more on a single turn from a creature inside it, so combined creatures, that'll be expelled. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Lucan. Exactly. We caught that at just the same time here. So Remiel is going to go in for the attack against Kakabel at disadvantage because he's restrained and blinded. And let's see what happens here. With a base 10, total of 18, that does hit Fluffy for 27 points of damage, reduced to 20 because of the resistances and such. So we have 20 of 50 damage here to be expelled. Going in for attack number 2. Remiel tries to hit, and that's, almost a natural 20. Base 3, it's going to be a miss from Remiel. Up next is Kakabel. And as Remiel's turn ends, Tabris is going to be hit by another tentacle. And that's going to be at advantage because she is restrained at the moment. And that will be a base 18 to hit. Total of 18 points of damage reduced to 9. And then we have Kakabel's turn. Kakabel is also restrained still and goes in for the attack against our Kraken. Let's see here. And that's going to be at disadvantage. A base 2 to hit, which unfortunately misses. Going in for the second attack. That's going to be a base 2 again. And sadly, our big hitter just cannot do anything. It makes sense, though. A massive greatsword, while you're restrained, is going to be excessively hard to try and hit and kill the Kraken with. Alright, that's the end of Kakabel's turn. We move on, and once again, another legendary action from our Kraken will slap Tabris with a tentacle attack at advantage. That's going to be a base 15 to hit, 32 total, 16 points of bludgeoning damage reduced to 8. And then we move on to Tabris' turn, who is going to try and escape the tentacles to try and get some help. Alright, so that's hers. She has to make a... what was it? Where is the check here? Ah, yes, DC 18 to get out of this. So, let's see. What is her better attribute to escape? Acrobatics or athletics? The athletics is a +6, so we will go ahead and use that to try and escape a DC... Crud, I just forgot. 18, there we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, so 15, I'm going to use that roll. It's not going to be a 25, it's actually going to be a 28 for Tabris, and she is freed from the Kraken's restraining abilities here. And that will mean that she now takes off to try and fly. She's going to go into the temple here, and with the tentacle attacks being a total of 30-foot reach, she hasn't left, technically, she hasn't left the range of threat and won't provoke an attack of opportunity as far as I'm concerned, and goes into here, and suddenly there's a flash, and she disappears. Remiel's attacks. Let's see here real quick. Angelic weapons. Oh, they are magical. Okay, so that's the problem here. Someone didn't click this as magical, so they should have been dealing full damage. Okay, that was an oversight there. So let's see here. For the attack that did hit, that's still not going to expel them though, but it should have been a couple more. So it's a little bit of lost damage. I'll add in another 5 points of damage there. Alright, so that's not enough though to get them out. And with that, Tabris is gone and off the map to try and get some help. Yeah, as this is with the end here, and we come to the bottom of round 8, Fluffy will go ahead and deal some acid damage at the start of the round. Let's see about that acid damage real quick, and we will call this a win for our third-party Devastator. This is usually why I don't play beyond when the third party comes in. So with the bite, that's going to be 12d6 worth of acid damage, and that's 30 points of acid damage to both Cacabel and Remiel. Remiel has been killed by the acid damage and can no longer do anything, and Cacabel is on his way out. As for that, we fade to black as Fluffy here comes in and starts destroying this temple. Does he completely destroy the temple? Enough to do some damage as our angel here goes to get help and maybe comes back in to repel Fluffy, at least maybe not destroying him. But for this time, for the sake of this battle here, folks, combat is over, and Fluffy, the Destroyer of Worlds, takes the win. Let's see who thought who was going to win here as we end the poll. And with 50% of you voting for Heaven's Court, unfortunately, the Celestials did not take the win. If the third-party Devastator did not come in, this would have been a much different battle here, folks. Unfortunately, our Devastator, Fluffy, the Destroyer of Shores, did come in and destroys this temple. Third party, 37% of you that voted for the third party did in fact get this correct. And then those of you that voted for Yu-Gi-Ohs, unfortunately, they were taken out pretty early on. And that is that for tonight's game of Monsterverse Monster here, folks. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been a blast. Now, unfortunately, it's time for the business. The virtual tabletop of choice, as I always suggest, is Foundry VTT. You pay for it once, and that's it. You have it for life. All future updates are free. All modules that you see me here using are free. This is not a service. You pay $50 one time. It's less than the price of a video game, folks, for your Sony or for your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox. It's so much cheaper than a video game. You have it for life. You get all free updates. You can support them on Patreon if you want to help them out. But it's unlike all the other tabletops. Sure, you can use Roll20 for free. Yes, you can use Owlbear Rodeo for free. But do they have the amount of stuff that you can do here? No! You pay for it once, and within 3 to 6 months of any other tabletop service besides Owlbear Rodeo, it pays for itself, and then you have it for free forever. The battle music here is by... let's see here, RPG Music Maker here on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. You can find the links in the description. The battle map was by Che and Peku. You can get them at patreon.com/ChePeku or chepeku.com. The names for all of these were by fantasynamegenerator.com, except for Fluffy. That was my own creation because it's hilarious giving these big guys strange names like the Megapede from last week's episode, and his name is Cookie. And then what do we else have here? We got that. I think that's pretty much it. So yes, thank you all so much for joining me. That is the business, and if you like what you see here, join me again next week as we continue another episode of Monsterverse Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. Join us again tomorrow for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition live stream with my crew and I as we continue the adventures in the Abominations Vaults. Boy, my poor guys have been getting slammed in that one. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. It's been a lot of fun. A little more crunchy than 5th Edition, which is what I like, but 5th Edition is nice to come back to for the ease of use and play. And then if you haven't seen it, on Thursdays I upload a solo RPG by the name of Notorious. It's it's Star Wars, but not Star Wars, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying that immensely. So check those out if you haven't seen those. There's a playlist as well. I highly recommend that. So yeah, plenty of stuff as always. So thank you all so much for joining me. And let's see here. Lucan said, yeah, that was awesome. The surprise round 2 was a nice surprise. Hope we see the teams back in the future. Oh, definitely. If it's been called for, we will definitely see them. So let me thank everyone that was here for the live stream. Lucan, Truck95, Hair Doctor, James is watching. Did not see you, James is watching. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Ian Revick, Truck95, name will be taken. And I think that is everyone. If I missed you, I am terribly sorry, but thank you all so much for joining me in the live stream. You guys are amazing. We have 13 likes on the channel for the live stream. That is a new record for this, and so awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, check out everything else on the channel. You won't be disappointed, I hope, anyways. And we'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for joining me. And if you watch this in the future as a video or as a VOD, you're awesome as well, getting all the way to the end. Thank you so much for joining me, and this is me, Andrew, for the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel, asking the question, are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, good day, good afternoon, folks, and I'll see you next time.